Imagine this. You're born into a world where you have no rights, no possessions, no freedom. You are someone else's property, spoken to, not with, punished for speaking out of turn, told when to wake, when to sleep, when to serve. This was the life of Epictetus, a man born a slave in the Roman Empire. He had no choice in where he lived, what he did, or even what happened to his body. His leg was broken by his master, some say deliberately, and he walked with a limp for the rest of his life. And yet, from this position of absolute powerlessness came one of the most powerful minds in human history. Epictetus became a philosopher, not by privilege but by necessity. He realized something that most people never do. While others can control your body, they can never truly control your mind, unless you let them. And through this realization, he became not just free, but a teacher of freedom, a teacher of emperors. His most famous student, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who would one day rule the world, and quote Epictetus in his own private journal. But this story isn't about the past. It's about you. Because even though we live in different times, many of us are still slaves. Slaves to our desires, to the opinions of others, to fear, anger, and endless distractions. So what can a man who had nothing teach us, here and now, in an age of abundance and anxiety? Let's begin with the most radical truth Epictetus ever taught. 1. True freedom has nothing to do with your circumstances. Epictetus believed that freedom isn't about where you are or what you have. It's about what governs you on the inside. No man is free who is not master of himself. These are not just poetic words. They are a direct challenge. Think about it. You can live in a modern house, have a high-paying job, thousands of followers, and still be deeply unfree. You can be a slave to your impulses, to the craving for praise, to the fear of failure, to the constant scrolling, comparing, needing. Epictetus himself had no money, no home, no control over his early life, but he trained his mind to focus only on what could never be taken from him. His thoughts, his choices, his inner character. He divided life into two categories. What is within your power? Your beliefs, your values, your reactions. And what is beyond your power? Everything else. And he told us, focus only on what is yours. Release the rest. So many of our anxieties today come from trying to control what we cannot, hoping others will like us, fearing that life won't go our way, worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. But Epictetus reminds us, it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. A breakup is painful. A lost job is difficult. A public failure is humiliating. But none of these define us. Only our response does. And in that space between what happens and how we react is your freedom. 2. You may not control events, but you can control your response. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea is more than just comforting. It's powerful. It means that even in a world full of uncertainty, pain, or injustice, your inner peace doesn't have to be disturbed. You remain free, even if the world around you isn't. Think about how often we let external things shake us. A rude comment ruins our day. A traffic jam makes us explode with anger. A missed opportunity leads to self-doubt. Epictetus teaches us that freedom doesn't lie in avoiding discomfort, but in learning to master our reactions to it. For him, the most dangerous kind of slavery wasn't physical, it was emotional. It was when you became a slave to your desires, to praise, to fear, to anger. He believed that if you could train your mind to accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be, you could be truly free. This is where Stoic training begins, not by changing the world, but by changing how we relate to it. 3. Freedom begins in the mind, not in the body. Epictetus himself lived in chains, yet considered himself freer than many Roman citizens. That's because he believed that real bondage came from depending on things outside our control, whether it was wealth, status, other people's opinions, or even our own bodies. A person who constantly needs things to go their way in order to feel calm is not free. A person who depends on praise to feel worthy is not free. A person who fears hardship, silence, or solitude is not free. Freedom, for Epictetus, was the ability to live in accordance with reason and virtue, even when everything else is stripped away. This is especially relevant today, in a time when we're bombarded by distractions, comparisons, and a constant need for validation. We scroll, consume, react, often without reflecting. Epictetus reminds us that the key to tranquility is not in having more, but in needing less. He invites us to look inward and ask, what am I truly in control of? What am I enslaved by? What would happen if I stopped chasing what I can't control and started cultivating what I already have? My reason, my integrity, my choices? 4. Philosophy is not theory. It's a way of life. Epictetus wasn't interested in abstract debates or complex logic games. To him, philosophy wasn't something you discussed. It was something you lived. It was medicine for the soul, a discipline that shaped your actions, your speech, even your thoughts. His discourses are filled with practical advice, but none of it was meant to just sound good. It was meant to be practiced. This is perhaps his most important legacy, the idea that wisdom is measured not by what you know, but by how you live. He told his students not to simply talk about courage or integrity, but to embody it, to live modestly, to expect hardship, to be ready to lose everything external and still keep their character intact. For Epictetus, philosophy was training. Every day was a test. How will you react when insulted, when praised, when tempted, when afraid? Your answers to these situations are your true beliefs, not the words you say, but the life you live. In today's world of endless noise, this lesson matters more than ever. There's no shortage of clever quotes or motivational sound bites. But what counts is not what you post or read. It's what you practice when life gets difficult. Do you remain calm when your plans fall apart? Are you kind when others aren't? Do you stand by your values, even when no one's watching? This is what Epictetus cared about. And this is what he still asks of us. Epictetus began life as a slave. He had no wealth, no status, and no guarantee of freedom. And yet, through the power of philosophy, he became one of the wisest voices of antiquity, a man whose ideas would shape emperors like Marcus Aurelius and echo across centuries. What does that mean for us? It means that no matter where you come from, no matter what you lack, you are not powerless. You have the same tools Epictetus had: your mind, your choices, your attitude. You don't need to wait for the world to change. You can start with yourself. He teaches us that freedom is not about having more. It's about needing less. That strength doesn't come from dominance, but from discipline. That peace isn't found in avoiding suffering, but in transforming it. In a chaotic world, his voice reminds us, you may not control events, but you can always control yourself. And in that lies your true power.